I feel like we got through the hardest episode, or I'm about to be super devastated. This video, I want to break down the episode 4 preview, and by breakdown, I mean speculate recklessly. Just recklessly with no shame. So the preview starts at Winterfell, where they are understandably burning their dead. 1, that would be a lot of bodies to bury. 2, even with the Night King gone, I'd still be burning those bodies just in case. I mean, for the rest of my life, I'd be burning bodies just in case. Look at those piles of bodies and all that smoke. Now imagine the smell. Being around Winterfell isn't going to be fun for a while. We pop over to King's Landing, where we see Cersei watching the Golden Company fanning out through her city, and she of course has that smug-ass smile, the trademark Cersei smug-ass smile. She's probably incredibly happy that the dead are taken care of and Dany/Jon took heavy losses. Which she may or may not know by now. She seems to get those messages from all the way up north hella fast, so she probably does know. Cersei obviously has more soldiers than Dany and Jon that are also very well fed and rested, unlike those up at Winterfell, who also probably have PTSD. Though I'd imagine what is left of Jon and Dany's army are much less intimidated by living armies after fighting the undead. I mean, after seeing the crazy shit that went down at Winterfell, I'd certainly be less afraid of the living. Fuck you, dude. I fought living undead skeletons. I don't think that word combination worked. Just keep recording. Euron looks like he's still getting that queen booty. Apparently, Euron still has some, quote, cool shit to do this season, according to Euron's actor. So I'm guessing he fights in the battle when Dany gets to King's Landing. We then go back to Winterfell, and I'm so glad Winterfell wasn't completely destroyed. A lot of it is intact, and they are working on repairs. Poor Winterfell has gotten knocked around so much in this show over the seasons. And it's good to see a large number of Unsullied after the bloodbath. There should be some Dothraki left, so I'm eager to see how many. Arya doesn't look quite as happy as I thought she'd be, but, you know, despite getting that big kill, seeing all that death probably isn't good for the mood. And, you know, the exhaustion of fighting in a huge battle. This is likely the next day where a lot needs to be done very quickly. Don't want dead bodies and such hanging around Winterfell. Dany with Missandei and Varys talking about winning the last war, i.e. Cersei. Look at Dany at that Winterfell leadership table all by herself, toasting and being met with cheers. She looks like she finally has the respect of the North, which she so badly wanted. They did say she needed to prove herself to the North, and she certainly did. Alternatively, maybe Dany's telling them, hey, after your heavy losses, I will leave the North out of my conquest. Because that could actually be for very sneaky reasons. Okay, Jon, you keep your heritage hush-hush, and I'll let you remain King of the North. Kit has said many times that Jon never wanted power or to rule, and that his character doesn't want the Iron Throne, so I feel Jon would take that offer. Hey guys, we help the Dragon Queen out with her final conquest, then we all go home, and we rule our own kingdom, and we just leave her alone to do her own thing. I can see the Northerners being a-okay with that, and actually very enthusiastic about that. Oh hey look, Royce lived. That's good to see. Oh, and Tormund still has his goat's milk. Ah, my sweet Tormund, I'm so happy you're with us. Also, Dany is hardcore wearing those Targaryen colors. She is full, I'm going to rule mode. I'm the queen. Here we see she touches Drogon, who thankfully isn't dead despite being stabbed 1,000,000 times. God damn it, Dany. Fly up next time when you're surrounded by a lot of enemies. I know Jon Snow has a nice ass, but you didn't need to keep staring. Arya's kissing Gendry, so I guess the sex wasn't too bad, or she's saying it was a one-time thing, it'll never work out, but I'm sure killing the Night King and seeing such overwhelming death was enough to put her in the mood, so maybe they are going at it again, but Arya still doesn't think this is a long-term thing. Though, I wonder if she tasted some of her humanity again with Gendry and now may actually settle down after everything is said and done. I mean, she has to kill Cersei, of course. And of course she'd settle down in an Arya way. She's not gonna be content just popping out a bunch of babies and knitting by the fireplace. So I'm actually most interested to see where Gendry and Arya go by the end of this season. Next we see this scene, and I love that they're having a proper burial ceremony for all the dead. It must have taken forever to collect them all in piles. Of course, we see leaders doing the honors of the send-off: Tormund, Jon, Sansa, Grey Worm, Dany, Sam, Arya. Boy, look at all those people left to attend that mass funeral. So many people. Yikes. Also, there's our boy Ghost. What a good boy, Ghost. You're such a good boy. You're just a little good boy. Oh, we love you. You're such a good boy. Good to see Bran, Royce, Missandei, Tyrion, Varys, and Davos also still going. And this is definitely hours after the big battle. Like I said before, you don't want those bodies just hanging around everywhere. I mean, besides the rot, it would be super spooky. I don't have a lot more to say. I just think that would be super spooky. Dany is walking away from Varys here looking very determined. I think Dany is going to be trying very hard to let Jon know the Iron Throne is mine, and acting as queenly as possible. I wonder if we'll see Dany having moments to grieve though, especially over Jorah. Also, where is Tyrion? Is he with Sansa being seduced into her I need more power plans? Because you know Sansa has a plan. We see they're going right into taking on Cersei because their boats and dragons are on the move. 2 dragons, by the way. Thank God. Sansa doesn't look too happy about those dragons, but there could be a lot of things playing in her mind right now. Jon and Davos are heading out with Gilly, watching them leave. Seeing all those Targaryen ships really makes me wonder how many soldiers she has left. I'm also interested to see how quickly they leave Winterfell. Is this a few days? Is this a few weeks? We'll have to see. I know they said they were going to keep minimal time jumps in this season, but there would be time jumps. Dany looks really happy here, and so does Drogon. It looks like they're watching something, so maybe Jon with Rhaegal. I don't know. Dany saying rip her out root and stem was an interesting choice of words given what was done to the Unsullied. Also, Varys describes losing his bits that way, so I wonder how her word usage makes him feel. Maybe a little uncomfortable. Finally, Euron is really working that romance with Cersei. He wants to be king so bad. Is this a proposal? Let's get married now? Or him still trying to butter her up so he can get what he wants from her? And I have to say, Cersei is loving a man kissing her ass. That has to feel so good for her. Then here we are outside. I wonder if this is another meeting. Maybe Jon is conversing with Cersei saying, hey, we don't want any more bloodshed, just give this shit up. Or she could be looking out at the coming Targaryen army, much less than what it was before. Regardless, Cersei is very self-assured and convinced that she has everything under control, but things are not going to go well for her in the end. So there's some interesting things we didn't see in this preview, and some extra thoughts I have about episode 4. From this preview, we didn't see anything at Dragonstone, which we know Dany and Jon eventually go to. So now I wonder why they go there and when. Maybe this is a pit stop between Winterfell and getting to King's Landing? Maybe because she's pregnant? I mean, they could sail to Dragonstone first before hitting Cersei. This episode seems like we're just going to see a bunch of build-up and everyone getting in place, and then episode 5 is the big battle at King's Landing, and episode 6 is resolving of all the conflict. So yeah, I'd imagine episode 4 is just going to be a lot of planning, talking, moving the plot forward without any real battle-type conflict. Jon and Dany are probably going to hash some things out. I wonder how their relationship is going to go forward, and I think episode 4 is going to let us know the answer to that question. Also, is this the episode we learn Dany is pregnant? I mean, come on, they focus way too hard on the dragons being her only children she'll ever have. That girl is getting knocked up. Or is knocked up. Honestly, I think episode 4 is just going to be focusing a lot on relationships. We're going to see Sansa seducing Tyrion because, of course, Sansa's going to do that. She wants more power, and she kind of showed us Watchers her hand, and she realized that she can manipulate Tyrion, and she's absolutely going to do that. We're going to see the relationship between Gendry and Arya, which is going to be super spicy. We're going to see the relationship between Cersei and Euron, and how that's going, and how Euron seducing her is going. I'm so interested to see how he manipulates Cersei, because Cersei's so used to manipulating people, I don't think she realizes how hardcore she's being played. Or maybe a player recognizes another player. And then lastly, Jon and Dany are gonna have major conversations this episode, or maybe Dany can kind of just blow him off like, fuck you, dude, I don't want anything to do with you. fight in my war, finish my conflict, and then I'm leaving you alone up north to rule. Good for you. I really, really want to see John and Danny and how their relationship gets kind of worked out in episode 4, whether it's they're stronger together or they both just go their own ways. Okay, there's my preview breakdown for episode 4. I'm working on a ton of other Game of Thrones videos right now, so like, subscribe, and place your bets on how Cersei dies.